My poor kitty. She was grabbed by an owl. I posted about it in the last video. You can watch me setting up in my last live stream. Her spot to hang out at, but the owl got her good. Got her by her back leg, I think, or she broke her leg when she fell. But her leg is like broken bad. I really need to look at it and make sure that the bone's not sticking out or something. I just realized that. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to check her. But I really hope that her bone is not like broken like that bad. Trying to remember what the boo-boo looked like when I picked her up before. She had like, what are they called on her? Like hitchhikers and stuff in her fur. So I think I might be just paranoid. But as soon as like I can, I'm gonna go check on her. I'm afraid to open the kennel right now. She's okay. She like is eating and stuff. So she's okay in that regard. I'm just nervous. It's like if I have to take her to the vet, I'm just like, I don't know how that works. Like, would they take her and like work on her? Even though, like, I can't take her, the emergency vet already turned us away. So I can't take her to the emergency vet. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. I'm still waiting for a phone call back from our regular veterinarian so that I can ask them if they'll take her in, you know, kind of as an emergency, but like, it sucks, man. Animal care is so difficult because like the way that vets work these days, it's like large corporations and that have bought out all the mom and pop vets. My grandfather was a veterinarian and he would literally never turn an animal away ever. And so that was in the 80s and the early 90s before he died. Now that's it's now all owned by like large corporations, and they only care about the bottom dollar, like the bottom line, which is their dollar. And so the emergency vet said that it's like, I think it was just under $200 to walk in the door. That's not including any care. That's just to get her in the door, to get them to look at her. And I said, well, can I bring her? You know, and you look at her and like tell me, yes, it's like broken or whatever. And like, you know, could you just look at her for me? And they said no. I'm hoping that my dog's veterinarian will take her or look at her or something. And I also have to wait for my kennel to come back to me. I let my landmate borrow my kennel for the chicken that I transported over, and then she just kept it and said that she left the chicken, like she needs it for keeping them separated or whatever, and I'm alright with her holding on to it, I guess, for a little while, but now I need it. So I'm really hoping that she is able to give it back to me like today, because that's the only way that I'll be able to transport my cat to the veterinarian, if I can get that kennel. Hopefully that'll be like, oh God, dude. No, she still hasn't returned it. I messaged her about it today, and she did say she will return it today when she gets home. So we'll see. But you know how long it's been? Noodle's been in that kennel the whole time, because she's kept the chickens separated, she said. So like that kind of hurts my heart that, you know, I could have had him put down and harvested and eaten the meat, but instead now he's like living a life of solitude in that thing, and it just doesn't feel right. So Jim, money got attacked by an owl today. Like an owl literally like picked her up off the ground, and so she has like a broken leg. It's pretty bad. Her leg is fucked. And I was able to borrow a kennel, a cat litter box, and some litter from my neighbor until I'm able to go buy some litter for her. And so yeah, she's just in a fucking kennel now on top of Orly's kennel. It's fucking ridiculous. Poor girl. I don't know when she's gonna be able to go to the vet. I don't know. Hopefully today or tomorrow. I mean, but like, it's just a matter of, so I literally don't have the money for it. So the only way I will be able to take her to the vet is if the veterinarian, who, you know, we already have an established patient arrangement or whatever, if I take her to our vet and they are willing to look at her for free and just say, yes, it's broken, no, it's not broken, you know, here's what you could do, or, you know, I don't know. But I like can't afford to go to the emergency vet because they cost an arm and a leg, and I just spent all of my fucking money on my damn bills, literally not even 5 hours ago. Like right 10 minutes before this shit happened, I just paid my bills. So I'm like broke until more money comes in. So that's just where I'm at. And the like emergency vet is just outrageous, overpriced on purpose, you know. It's just frustrating. I'm just having some anxiety about it all. She's okay right now. She's snuggled up and she's in a comfortable place. I got her a really cozy spot to lay down, and she's got everything she needs right now in there. So just want to make sure that she stays hydrated and that she stays eating food. The insurance is like ridiculous. And I don't have the money. I haven't had the money. I'm gonna get insurance for the animals as soon as I get on the road. As soon as I sell this property, I'm going to get them insurance. Both of them. Oh no, it's broken. It's broken. It's definitely broken. She's laying down on her pillow right now. Yeah, I'm just waiting on the vet to call me back. She's trying to escape right now. Oh, hi, that was your eyes. Oh, my mama. Okay. Oh, baby. This is a broken leg. That was really good to see her stretch it out like that. It's not swollen. You can see the puncture wound. You see the puncture wound right there? That's the puncture wound. My poor baby girl. She's hugging her own foot. Oh my god. I think she's gonna be okay. I think it was just, really hoping that it was just little hitchhikey thingies that I felt on her leg and not like her bone broken through the skin. The way she stretched her leg out like that was really promising though. It makes me think that at the very least she's got the mobility to stretch her fucking leg out. It's not like, you know, a fucking limp noodle hanging off of her body right now or anything. Ow, Heather! Okay, I gotta clean this with rubbing alcohol before I put it back together. Don't breathe that in. Yeah, I was smoking a bong.
Continuing, I'm in Orlando, shit goes down. So once again, looking good. The more I even did continuously is legal mindset membership. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. No claim over making
See the legal documents.
The unredacted everything, the proceedings to be to televised. This was courtesy of the Kiwi Farms. Now, it seems to be accurate. It seems to be reliable, right? So I'm thinking, okay, it's reliable. It was redacted. This was redacted by a friend of mine. So this is a homemade redaction. The unredacted version is out there. You guys can find it. It's very easy to find. But I had people debating whether or not I should redact stuff. And look, if it's in the public court record, there may be times at which I can't redact it. But with this one, since it was coming off of the farms, and because also there's information about the kids in here, I felt the need to do a little bit more redacting. Okay, so that may not happen in every single. That may not happen in every single incidence, right? This may not happen in every single instance, but in this case, there's redaction, okay? So let's continue with this. And this is the supplementary report. So this has additional details. Now,
so what am I supposed to do? What exactly am I supposed to do for her? Other than disturb her, what am I supposed to do for her? We just checked on her just a minute ago, and she is napping. She's resting. She stretched the leg out. So it's obviously not like broken and like nasty, and like she still has mobility, you know? And it might be that it was dislocated. Maybe it wasn't broken. I'm not a fucking vet, you know? I just saw her leg. It looked fucked up, and she was definitely not putting weight on it. And she does have a puncture wound. When it first happened, when I first got her, she was kind of like, not in shock, but like, she was like, kind of like, what the fuck? And so she let me hold her, and I was able to like put stuff on the wound. So I was able to put medicine, and I was able to flush out her wound at the very least. She's a cat. She's also an outdoor cat. She's not a fucking house cat, this cat. She is a like partially feral, like outdoor cat that is just extremely sweet and loving. But when it comes to like her being injured, she's not like my other cat was. It's not like she wants to be right next to me the whole time and like, you know, she wants me to pet her and touch her. That's not what she wants. She is doing what all cats do when they're injured and they want to be left alone. She's fine. She was trying to escape a little bit earlier, and when she was trying to escape, I was able to like kind of see her leg a little bit then too. It's not bleeding. All I can do for her right now, all the vet would do for her, okay? All a vet would do for her, different than what I could do here at home, is prescribe her antibiotics. That's the only difference. So if the vet calls me back and says they'll prescribe antibiotics, once I talk to the vet, then I'll move forward. I'm just right now literally waiting on the vet to call me back. So what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna try to not freak out, because what good is freaking out? If I could walk back and forth and just pace and stare at her and like disturb her sleep, what good is that gonna do? I will take her to the vet if the vet calls me back. The emergency vet turned us away. Okay? So the emergency vet will not take her. They want money. Lots of money. And so I'm calling our veterinarian, who we have a relationship with, and I'm going to talk to her and see what she thinks I should do. And then I'm going to do what she thinks I should do. But you guys are literally, my Cash App, my Venmo, you guys are welcome to send money if you want me to take her to the emergency vet, plus the medical care. So, you know, anywhere, I mean, it was like almost $400 to get my dog neutered. So we can assume that it'll probably be somewhere around that if there's no, like, you know, with just including like the vaccinations that she'll need. They'll want to catch her up on vaccinations. That's $30 each. They're gonna want to there was like something else that they did for Orly. It was like they're gonna ask about chipping her. That's another $50. I denied chipping Orly right now, but I am gonna go get him chipped later. I just didn't have the money at the time when I got him fixed because it was so expensive. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that it's not like I could just take her to the vet and then, you know, it is what it is. It's gonna cost monies. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you are so cute. But honey, that's my nice carpet. Come here. Oh, I don't want to tell you to come here. Lay down, lay down. You're good, you're good. Don't come here, you're fine, you're good. Oh, my boy, he's so cute. He like just scratched up the rugs. I was like, what are you doing? And then he just flopped down on the ground. He made himself like a wedge. He's so cute. Listen, I love my cat. I love my cat very fucking much. And I've been through this a few times. Having cats, I've been living off grid for 3 years. She's not my first cat. And I have had my cat attacked before. And I literally panicked. I fucking took her to the emergency veterinarian. I was able to find what is it called? This foundation who helped me cover the emergency vet costs because my cat really got attacked badly by her guest dog that had been, this was before I got my dog. This was like, you know, a year and a half ago. But I've been down this road before with cats and puncture wounds and cats with potential broken legs. And so the only thing that they are literally going to do at all, they honestly, they didn't even wrap up my other cat's leg, her puncture wounds and stuff. They just left it open because she's a cat and it's hard to get it on them and it's hard to keep it on them. So she's just gonna stay kenneled up for the next couple of days. I'm just gonna make sure to keep her, I'm gonna give her lots of water. I'm gonna give her water with some electrolytes. I'm 90% sure I have cat electrolytes in the drawer. Yeah, she's alive. I'm just like, I mean, there's just nothing I can do. She's not that badly injured to where, like, it's not like she's got, like, a huge wound. It's not like she's not, like, meowing in pain. Like, I walked over to her, and when I walked over to her, she made eye contact with me, and then she did, like, a big stretch, and then she curled herself back up, grabbed her leg, and then closed her eyes again. So she's there. She's not like in shock. You know, she's realizing, okay, I'm stuck in here, so I better make the best of it. So. Oh, Chris. Yeah, no. So you have no idea. Like, the only time I have, or I'm sorry, way back when I was first live streaming, the very first time I ever had people in my chat being nasty to me was when Selkie got attacked. It was literally, I was like asking for help. I was like, can anyone fucking help me, like, figure out how to get this cat to the vet? And people were just like, take your cat to the vet, you're a horrible owner. I'm like, that's literally what I'm here for, is do you want to send me like $5 so that you can add it to the pot? Because I desperately need to take my cat to the vet. Like, that was the situation where she needed to go to the fucking vet. She was also freshly, she had just had kittens, so she was still nursing. It was a really shit situation. She is a badass mama. She nursed her kittens all through that situation. She didn't miss a moment. She was right on, diligent, and with her kittens. It was crazy. She was a badass biatch. So I kind of saw the owl a little bit, but I've been hearing it. I mean, if you guys have been on my live stream for the last 4 days, I've been saying, like, what the fuck is this owl doing out here? Like, there's an owl. It's just been in my fucking yard for the past, like, 4 days. It's big. It's big. I can hear it. I can hear it. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. It's nonstop. You know, it hasn't made a sound since it tried to attack Money, but, yeah, it's been 4 days of the owl being out there. And I'm pretty sure it already picked off one of my chickens, because my black chicken is missing. She could be hiding in the woods somewhere on a nest of eggs. 100% likely possible. If I have a whole bunch of chicks, I'll freak out. But, that's totally possible. She's the one who likes to disappear, so she's always disappearing. So that's why I'm not really worried about her yet, but also at the same time, like, it's possible that the owl got her. The rest of the chickens are all freaked out. Whatever happened to Money today freaked everybody out. All the chickens are underneath my car. They don't really go under my car. They usually go, like, on their own spot over there, but they won't go there now. They're nervous, so they're under my car hanging out. There is no mobile vet in my area. As a matter of fact, that's why my mods and my regular viewers, when you hear me tell the things that I'm going to do when I get rich, that's why part of that is to have a fleet of mobile veterinarians that I send out to rural areas. Because this is fucking ridiculous. Like, not being able, like, dude, it was a nightmare to get my animal fixed. Like, it was a fucking struggle. My cat, I've never been able to get her fixed because it's such a nightmare. But now that I have this awesome vet situated, and I'm a patient in theirs finally because of the dog, now I can probably get her fixed now that I've got, you know, but it'll be like a 6-month appointment. Yes, Chelsea, Money. I mean, like, I'm like 90% sure she's gonna be perfectly fine. She just needs to, like, spend a couple of days, like, you know, laying in bed and shit, and just, you know, the best that we can do is just, like, keep her from going outside. That's, like, the best we can do. Is just try to prevent her from going outside and getting further damage or getting infected or whatever, you know. Dude, yeah, Chelsea. Well, so what, you know, with her, like, there's, like, nothing I can do. She's just, like, if I try, like, now that she's injured, that's the only thing that's going to keep her kind of in one place. But under normal circumstances, I cannot keep her locked up out here. It's just not possible. Now that this is situated, I'm going to probably, like, I think that this might, I mean, not saying that God made this happen for a reason or anything, but, like, you know, I'm moving into a motorhome very soon, and I have been thinking to myself, like, how the fuck am I going to transition this cat, who is, like, the baddest ass mouse hunter in the West to an indoor cat. Like how am I gonna do that exactly, you know? And I guess that this is how. It's how it worked with Orly, you know? So I guess this is what we gotta do, and just keep her inside for a while, you know? Yeah, hold on. I want to take a dab, and then I'm looking everywhere for my proper bong so that I stop being so like wasteful with this stuff, because I don't have the proper equipment, and so I'm erring on the side of caution and just doing way less, so I'll have to do it more frequently. I don't know, whatever. It's so stupid. I really don't like taking dabs, to be quite honest. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell. I don't like having to not be able to breathe for the 5 minutes afterwards. I honestly feel like dabs still only exist because college age boys take it as like some sense of pride and like accomplishment when they can like take big dabs. Like I really feel like they're single-handedly keeping them on the market, you know? Yeah, I am gonna be living where I don't have any land to garden. I'm gonna give my chickens to my neighbor. Smithy, because I don't want to give out my personal information to, like, you know, to anyone on the internet. But I'm perfect. First of all, you can have trust in the fact that I will do what I did with the money. And under normal circumstances, some normal person might be like, oh, well, of course I'm going to just give you my vet information. And I would normally do that because I don't really want to have the money in my hands. But I have like an entire Reddit page dedicated to trying to like ruin my life. And honest to God, I don't want them to harass my veterinarian, and to the point where they like drop me as a client, and because it took me 2 years to get there, and these people are just trying to destroy my life. It's not like they're trying to do anything like hold me accountable. I don't do anything. I literally don't do anything wrong. The worst thing I do is smoke weed. That's like the worst thing that I do literally on this planet. So but you know, there's people that doesn't matter what you do. So there are people who say that my dog shouldn't be in the house. He should be outside. When my dog is outside, people come in here and say that my dog shouldn't be outside. He should be in the house. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And so it's essentially, I'm to the point where like, I'm just going to live my life and I'm going to let you watch, and you can say whatever you want, but ultimately I'm going to do what I'm going to do, because no matter what I say, somebody's going to have something to say about it. You know, it's just the nature of the internet. So. Yeah. Right. So as you just showed me, you are one of those Redditors, and like, why would I give you my vet? And you've not seen me say anything to my son, because I don't talk badly to my son. I yell. I speak loudly to my son. But I don't call him names. I don't talk bad to him. But go ahead, divert the conversation to something else. Off the topic of the cat, which is the priority right now. So yeah, I'm not asking anybody to help me fucking pay for anything right now. I'm saying that if you care enough about me taking my cat to the vet, that it is a problem to you that I'm not taking her to the vet right now, and then you are welcome to send money, and I will take her to the vet if I have enough money to take her to the vet. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Because ultimately it's the best thing for her is to find out. And she's like the love of my life, so obviously I want her to be okay, but I don't really think she's not okay. I think she's going to be okay, just based on how I saw her moving through the world for the 2 hours before I was able to get that kennel set up for her. I fucking can't. Oh shit. I cannot wait to not have to do this anymore. I'm over it already. I should ask like my neighbor if she wants the rest of this stuff so I don't feel obligated to use it. I really need to go into town, but I'm afraid to leave her alone for the first few hours. So probably I'm just gonna put off going into town until tomorrow, and then I'll go get cat food and stuff tomorrow in town. The only thing I really need is cans of cat food. I might need a bag of dog food. And I think I need those camping. Ooh, I need those to my admins. If I ask, I need to get camp stove butane refills or whatever. I need to get those. I need to get a couple of those. I need to go. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go into town tomorrow. If I don't end up taking her to the vet, you know, if the vet doesn't. I just really hope they call me back soon. My doctor's appointment was such a shit show, so I'm like trying to do a telemed, you know, appointment with my doctor. I've had this appointment scheduled for a while, and you know, it just happenstance. The appointment is like right in the middle of like chaos, so it's crazy. Like I check in with my appointment with the telemed Zoom thing or whatever, and the lady who answered was going, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." She's like, "I'm going through so much chaos right now." She's like, "I'm just gonna need a minute." And I was like, "Oh my god, you're fine, go ahead. I was literally just about to tell you the same thing." She's like, so she's like, "What happened?" And so I told her about the cat getting grabbed by the owl, and I was like, "What happened to you?" And she's like, as soon as I sat down at my desk, she's like, I accidentally knocked, she's like, I don't normally drink soda. She's like, and I normally don't buy expensive purses. She's like, but you know, I bought one and I'm trying to use it so I can rationalize the fact that I spent that much money on it and I don't really like it. She's like, but anyways, she's like, I was drinking the soda and I like didn't realize it was there. I knocked it off the desk. It went all over the desk. It went in my purse. Halfway, my purse is full. My phone, all over my phone. All over everything inside my purse. And I was just like, oh my god. I was like, we're on the same wavelength today. But my doctor, while I was on the phone with her on the telemed, she told me, I told her the antibacterial ointment that my neighbor gave me, and I told her the name of the fluid that I got from the veterinarian for the dog's neuter or whatever, and she said that should be good. She's like, you know, if you know, it doesn't look too bad. She's like, and it doesn't swollen and stuff, like it doesn't look like it's cutting blood supply off. She's like, that's going to be the most important thing, is just monitoring and making sure that, you know, there's no blood supply issue to her foot. So that is like, you know, why I was super duper worried. But I've watched her literally jump up onto things and then jump down and move around the house on 3 legs. So like, I just don't think, it can't be like broken. Like maybe, but she definitely has a wound on the back of her knee. Like a little one. God, I can't believe that fucking... Ugh. I really hope the vet will just like look at her, you know. I like had the weirdest anxiety today, like where I just kind of felt like I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything. I just kind of wanted to like sit in my room by myself. That's weird. I always have those weird anxieties. And my cheeks are super flushed still right now. I'm gonna occupy myself. By listening to some Nick Rekieta drama. And I'm gonna put on my eyebrows in some mascara just in case I'd have to go into town.
But we've got juicy extra facts. So what I want to focus on here, because I want to get, we're going to read through it, we're going to go through everything. But what I want to focus on are the additional facts, not the stuff we know, but, the stuff that we've learned that's additional. I think that's extra useful here, right? Extra useful. All right, so we've got this supplementary report. This is on Nick's case. The reporting party was Kevin Scott Mellon, right, related with the church, the mandatory reporter. The suspect was Nicholas Robert Rekieta. Obviously, they got Kayla Christine Rekieta, also a suspect. Mentioned is Aaron Michael Imholt and April Diane Imholt. So they're in here. Now, real quick, I want to mention this. I'm going to mention this a couple times. Aaron Imholt, apparently, Aaron Imholt heard my last podcast. Apparently he's a fan, which is great. I like it that he's listening. So Aaron Imholt said that he is going to cut back on his podcast tour. Now, I don't know whether that's because he's already gone on every podcast we have to go on, right? So there's not really cutting back when he's gone on every podcast. Or because he's actually listening, or because he's spoken to an attorney. I don't know, but it's a good idea to shut up. But also, I would encourage him to go further than that, Aaron, because I think you probably are listening, Aaron. And you probably should not be talking about this case on your channel, because I have news that was leaked to me. This is something that is anonymous. I'm not going to say who leaked this, but this is reliable information that was leaked to me. There are now recently people that have submitted information to the sheriff's office that could lead to the investigation of Aaron Imholt for potential criminal charges. So once again, let me say this one more time. There is, according to what I have been told anonymously, people have leaked information to the sheriff's office that could lead to the potential arrest or charges against Aaron Imholt, potentially April Imholt as well. So if I were him, I would shut up. Now, Aaron has said, oh, I have a lawyer. Oh, I spoke to the police, and the police said they're not going to charge me. Aaron, I hope you had an attorney, and I hope you told that to your attorney, because your attorney's going to tell you you're crazy. Unless you had that in writing, signed by the prosecutor, unless you've got all the proof in the world, and even then I wouldn't trust it. I would shut up. That's my advice to Nick, and that's my advice to you as well. I would really not talk about this case, both on your podcast and on anybody else's. I would just cut it there, man. I would cut it there. You're just digging yourself in. So that's my advice to him, Aaron. Best of luck. I do appreciate your listening, but you really shouldn't be talking about this. And I know, listen, I called him a clout goblin, and that's because I suspect, and this is my hypothesis, that Aaron sees the numbers. They're probably looking really good. I mean, he's had his podcast for a very long time. It's on, hold on one second here. Hold on one second. I just want to look this up because I know it's...
wipe all of yesterday's mascara off.
Yeah.
But,
hold on one second. I just want to pull it up and see the numbers. Okay, so he's had this channel for a very long time. So let's look at this for 2 seconds. I think it kind of helps to, explain things. But he's had this channel for a while. Right, I believe he started it, in 2011. So let's pop over here and let me show you guys so you know I'm not making this stuff up. So Aaron has had this channel, Steel Toe Morning Show, since 2011, September 8th, 2011. So almost, 13 years on the internet, right? And he has 12.7K subscribers. So all this time and that, so when you look at the videos, right, and you see the videos, especially like the latest videos, right, obviously there's a lot more views. right? But if we go back historically, especially if we go back to like older streams, we can see the numbers are far smaller, right? We're talking about far smaller numbers. So you probably see the numbers and it's like, hey, look, this is great. Everybody wants this. We should go with this. I should ride this. And I understand that. Look, I get it. As a content creator, sometimes you have to strike when the iron is hot, but not when the police are looking at you, right? Not when the police are looking at you. So that's my like not legal advice. Like not to you, but just in general. It's not smart to go and talk about stuff when you have potential criminal charges, right? Just FYI. All right, so let's get back to this document and let's
My
talk about
Virgo moon started to take over. I had to
we've
stop
had
myself.
some victims. Now, a lot of these are the children here. So just so you understand, the children, we're keeping their names out of here completely. It's really horrible to me that the children's information is so out there. So I'm trying to protect that. You have mentioned Paula Holman, Jamie Lee Elizabeth Wright, who would like to remain anonymous, and Shani Liz Blitzen, that's the quote-unquote live-in maid or nanny. We'll talk about her in a second. And Sergeant David Nestor. Now, one thing that's been brought up is about this live-in maid, this nanny, right? And I was able to find a photo of this woman, right? And this is a very interesting thing. So now this is, of course, fact, right? You got Shani Bitzan, here she is, over here. I guess it's her Pinterest, I guess. So I'm just going to say something. Look, I've never been married, but despite what anybody said, I have had girlfriends. I've had a very long term. And when I've talked about jokingly getting a maid or a nanny, every single time the answer is, oh yeah, they've got to be like 80 years old, right? Or 90 years old. Or like, it's they're not going to be some attractive young maid. Now, I'm not saying whatever, I'm not making a subjective assessment here, but I mean, she's on the younger side. Looks like she's on the younger side. And typically, I'm just going to say this, blonde, younger women are typically not being hired as nannies or maids. It's typically not what happens in the United States. Maybe in like Belarus or like wherever Josh Moon is living, maybe there's like blonde young maids and that's fine, but not.
Oh no,
so,
there's a rave.
So it's very, very interesting there. Interesting little fact. Yeah, somebody in the chat says, my maid is in their 70s. Yeah, so, and also foreign, right? So I would typically expect a foreign maid, right? Now if you're in a foreign country, yeah, maybe it might be different, right? But they're living in America, so, there you go. Okay, so let's pull this back up and dig right back into it. Okay, so we've got her now, so that's now relevant. Very interesting.
All right,
so
who are you talking to, Nicole?
Some of these details will be new details.
Because my name is on the deed.
5/16/24 at approximately 8:39, I, Sergeant David Nestor of the Candy County Sheriff was asked to stop into the office and take a mandatory reporting call from an individual who wished to remain anonymous but was mandated to report. His name was Kevin Mellon, who was a pastor at the Evangelical Covenant Church in the city of New London. He was a pastor to a family with 5 children. The family being reported for information of neglect. So the neglect is front and center here. So anyone who says this is purely a drug charge is just ignoring the fact that's coming from a mandatory reporter. So they can obviously, a lot of people are trying to ignore that, right? Especially people in the Nick camp, right? Or as the kids call it, right? With their mother, Will Spicer, Mellon advised Ricketts have a live-in nanny for 4 days. This was the first flag for reported to Mellon that something was wrong with the Ricketts family. Mellon advised that Bitson does not person with specific animus against him. Well, it turns out this is indeed not. It is 4 people that reported to the mandatory reporter. So it is cumulatively, 5, right? So, I mean, there's the mandatory reporter plus the other 4. Right? So that is a significant amount. And then you tack on to that the podcast. You tack on to that Steel Toe Morning Show. You tack on to that Ricada Law and Ricada Law streams. You tack on to that any other information they've collected subsequently or around the case. And you've got a lot more. You've got a lot more. Obviously for probable cause of what they had at the moment, but 5 different sources there, right? So 4 the mandatory reporter, and then their own podcast and show. So you're looking at 6 or 7 sources when you're looking at what they're going through. So there's a lot of data. This isn't just one point. And probable cause is looked at cumulatively. It's the totality of the evidence. It's looking at all of these things together. They don't just take them in isolation. So just because you may be able to defeat 1 or 2 points, just because the defense may be able to defeat 1 or 2 points, does not mean the whole thing is defeated. And mind you, all the lawyers that looked at the basic search warrant, not even this, that just looked at the basics, said this is pretty bulletproof. People that have a lot of experience. Now, Robert Barnes, came at me and swung at me and critiqued me for saying, oh, well, Andrew's a Florida bond lawyer. He knows nothing about the Constitution. Well, a lot of the folks that were on my panel, that I had on my panel, including Nate, including Steve Gosney, there were other folks that were on this panel, had a ton of experience with search warrants and dealing with search warrants. And they all were in unanimous agreement. Oh, Ron Coleman as well. Had a unanimous agreement. So when a bunch of legal experts get together and those with various levels of education are all coalescing around the same opinion, it starts to look a little bit more like COPE. In fact, even some other
my cat
lawyers
got
on
attacked by an
Twitter
owl
and
today,
on YouTube
so
have reached out to me. And even those that are very libertarian, very anti-cop, I said, yeah, this search warrant looks pretty bulletproof. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty solid. Looks pretty rock solid. Is there a chance? Yeah, sure. There's like a 5% chance. I would give it a 5% chance at this point, based on what everybody has said, based on the totality of opinions and evidence and everything I've seen. Yeah, there's like a 5% chance. But am I going to go out there and misrepresent a 5% chance as like a great chance of victory of Nick getting this thing tossed? No, of course not. Okay, I'm just going to get the memberships real quick. We're going to get all the super chats after I get through it. I promise you I'll read all of them. Mazurova Palma for 10. Thank you so much for those memberships. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that. And then Glenn Bush, who became a member. Thank you for that as well. Appreciate y'all. And we're going to get to every single message here in Unrumble. I promise you. All right. And if there's any at the end that like trail, we'll do a makeup stream if we had to, but I think we'll be good here today. All right. And hopefully my hotel internet hangs in there. I'm seeing it's on like one, you know what I'm doing? I'm seeing it's on one dot. So I'm going to decrease my quality. I'm going to decrease my quality here because I think I'm on 1080p. I'm going to decrease it down to 720. Bear with me, guys. I will not be as sexy, but I think the internet will like it more. So let's do that. Let's go down to 720.
I answered you, Sarah.
Okay. Internet Wi-Fi. Gotta love it, baby. All right. So now we're getting into the actual report itself and what was reported. Let's go down here. So Mellon advised that Bitsin does not know the report has been made until the 4 people have made contact with Mellon and advised the following information. A family who's been staying in one home renting, Jessica and her husband Hatfield, were asked to leave recently and nobody's occupying the residence now. So, okay, they have 2 homes, and I think that's one that, is now unoccupied. Nicholas and Kayla Ricada have formed a newer relationship with Aaron and April and Multi. I was advised that Aaron and Multi and Nicholas Ricada do some type of blogging and or YouTube radio shows. Mellon was advised the Multis moved in with the Ricadas as well. So here we go. This is a big fact. This is a massive factor. And this does change the analysis, that they moved in. This was not just they were visiting. This was not just they were talking. This was they were living together. They were living together. So that is where the accusations of the polycule come from. All the other things spring from is that fact. And this is now a fact that's been alleged in a document, a legal document, right? So we've got that. Now, does that mean it's true? No, but it's an allegation, it's a fact, and it has to be dealt with, right? And it seems to be supported by the rest of the things we've seen and the stories we've heard. And
why would you even want to have sex with a guy who was all coked out? Like, could you imagine,
right?
Like,
so that
just like looking up at something and just like, Nick Ricada.
The house is in disarray with clothes and other cluster items everywhere. The children are 2 boys and 3 girls. They have been noted to be wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days with their clothes in disarray and starting to smell. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff about the kids. So they have been noted to have been wearing the same clothes with
and they're going to
clothes in disarray and starting to smell. That is an observation.
You can't send your kid to preschool.
You know, the way this is phrased, this is not something that the kids told them their clothes are bad. This is them saying our objective observation, our reasonable observation, is that the kids are wearing the same clothing and their clothes smell. This is just not the kids, right? Because once again, the question is, well, what if the kids?
Oh, I can't wait to get out of this bus.
The Nick defenders, they asked me, well, the kids could be coerced, right? Sure.
Like,
okay, that's a defensive theory. But if you're observing the fact they're wearing the same clothes and they're stinky,
park,
that is a problem.
That's
because it's not based on any sort of coercion.
Somewhere in the country.
The preschool director at the church, Paula Holman advised the younger children have advised her. So the kids told her that they are hungry and not being fed, and also made comment about the clothing. So there was an objective observation that they're wearing the same clothes that smell, and they told her, the children advised her that they are hungry and not being fed. The implication here is that they told her, right? Children advised her.
What the hell was that?
They told her, not she asked them and they answered. Anonymous party advised that they do not believe the children born 2012 and 2015 are being homeschooled while the older boys do attend school. So I guess this is an implication that there might be kids that are not being schooled. I guess I don't understand that. I mean, I guess it's the implication. So that's an interesting fact. I did not know that one. A new fact. All information that is regarding the church to the Ricada family has now gone to blank, as the response is not attainable from Nicholas and Kayla. An anonymous person advised Mellon that they are observing Nick to be lethargic and appear to be high or drugged driving a car around. Another, so a different, and this is something throughout this document, people, this is very important. Nick's theory of the case and Barnes' theory of the case is that there is one person. There's one person that has specific animus against them. Note in this document when they say another, right? So it's not just the same person, it's now another person. It's now his person. So this is a very important fact. Very important fact. Another person advised that Nick would randomly walk out during sermons. Anonymous individuals have advised at Mellon that they noticed behavioral changes in both Nick and Kayla, with Kayla almost appearing now to be anorexic and Nick having had lost a substantial amount of weight recently. Anonymous individuals have advised that they have seen what is being described as an ejection or track marks on Nick's arms. Anonymous individuals
curious. Poor kitty girl. It totally sounded like a bird landed on the roof, you know? But I haven't heard anything else. It could have been a tree branch, too. have been like right here.
Advised Mellon that they believe the
My
impulse
eyes
were
are,
possibly
like,
assisting
dry
with
and
some
hurting.
type of drug use with Nick and Kayla. Nick's blogging and views and/or subscribers are down, possibly resulting in financial losses. Guys, we now have Nick's blogging and views and/or subscribers are down, possibly resulting in financial losses. Guys, we now have on the record, and this is insane. We're going to have Nick's YouTube statistics and views entered into evidence. Do you understand this? Like Playboard and his, like, you know, he's looking at his stats, his analytics. That is now going to come into evidence. So, like, a lot of this stuff that's being tracked by a lot of people, and, you know, a lot of people were called out, we're tracking this, A-logging this, we're tracking this very carefully. And they were watching Nick go down and down and down. That's actually now going to be relevant to police. They brought this up as a fact based on putting in here that financial loss, which can lead to certain states of mind, can lead to certain erratic decisions, right? That is going to be there. Right? It's going to be there. It's very interesting. This
He was a regular guy
especially for you content creators,
who suddenly became a millionaire.
On the internet, and just understand everything on the internet can be used.
And he had people in his chat who he listened to.
All right.
Who encouraged him to be a jerk.
We've got an
instead of being a good person.
At one point, Nick and Kayla left with the Imholtz to go to a casino, leaving the children alone, putting the oldest son, who was born in 2007, in charge. Mellon was unsure if it was suitable or not. Okay, real quick, we need a pause on this one. There's two things I want to say first of all.
That's like a 13-year-old,
big
right?
This is a big one. Going to a casino to gamble while your kids are at home. How old is a
2007-year-old?
Frankly, leaving one in charge. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Like
17,
17, right?
The other thing too is I'm going to be a little hard on Aaron for this one because I know Aaron's listening, right? Aaron, you're out there. You're not absolved on that one, buddy, because if you were living there, if you were participating in that, you made the decision to leave that kid at home alone. Yes, Nick is the dad and Kayla's the mom, and they got the authority, but like. You could have been like, bro, I'm not going to go with you to the casino. I'm going to stay at home with your kid, right? So like, these are the types of things, Aaron, that you're not going to get off the hook for, and whether it's in the court or the court of public opinion, right? You need to own those. And I'm not sure whether you've specifically acknowledged this one or not. I haven't seen all your shows. I've watched too much video every day. But with Aaron needs to take some responsibility for that because he left a child to go gamble and do whatever else, right? I assume there's probably some Colombian nose candy involved there, right? If under the proposed prosecution theory of the case, right?
Only on the internet, heavy, dirty
that would
soul.
be the implication here, right? Okay, let's continue. Mellon advised that nobody told them anything other than possible neglect and or drug use. There were 0 reports of physical or sexual abuse, and that the kids were not in immediate danger time of report. Now that is relevant. That part is relevant because a lot of people were speculating there was a charge on Kayla Ricada. There was a charge for her that was related to potential sexual abuse. But that was only related, the physical sexual abuse statute was related to the fact that they were using drugs. It was not related to, any actual physical or
Is your name
abuse.
Jamie?
So as in, no beating, no sexual assault, none of that. So at this time, there was none of that, at least by the mandatory report. So that's something that is clear there. They put out in the facts, and I don't think that's in the allegations. I don't see that. So I do want to clear that up, right? And that's, to the fairness of Nick Ricada, right? There's no physical or sexual abuse in the terms of physical damage, right? Now, the statute implies a form of abuse if you're using drugs around a kid. So the statute assumes it, right? That's a different thing. Right? That's distinct. All right. Let me continue on here. So we've got that part of the report. Now we go down here and we got this kind of skips around. Mind you, this came out of the farm, so You know, this is kind of stitched together. It's a very ghetto version, but we do the best we can here, you know, and obviously it is what we have. And, you know, big ups to the farms for getting this information, right? You know, it's a huge get, and, you know, we'll talk about it later, but once again, there's two sides of this. There's like the Nick side and the anti-Nick side. And the Nick side so far of Nick defenders, when I put out the homework, all they did was cry and moan and say,
I'm listening to Legal Mindset.
I challenged the Kiwis, and they're producing actual evidence and getting stuff done. So, you know, it's not equal on both sides of this, right? Both sides of this are not playing the same game. Anyways, we got the same items: the snort tubes, the metal cutters, the $100 bill with cocaine on it, the Bindle white baggie with cocaine, a cocaine scooper, 2 baggies with a baggie with a funnel, an unknown brown substance, negative on all Nick tests. I guess that's narcotics. I guess I don't know. I don't know what Nick stands for. The following items were located in a safe: a Springfield Armory 45 caliber 1911. I do like the 1911. 4.45 caliber mags and 2 .38 caliber magazines, 38 magazines, full of ammo. Following items from the garage: ammo for 45 and 223, a Remington 870 12 gauge. There were also 45 caliber bullets, and there was 26.67 grams of cocaine. The digital evidence: there were digital photographs, there was audio recording, body cam footage, which, full stop, Kiwi Farms is trying to get. I believe they're going to set up a fundraiser. It's about $3,000 plus costs.
Holy shit.
So I think they're going to raise like $5,000. They're going to try to raise about $5,000 for that, to get that body cam footage. So I imagine this body cam footage is going to come out at some point. So we'll have that digital evidence eventually. We will have it. PowerPoint video, clip from Nick Recaita's online podcast, which shows a white powdery substance on his nose, and also a screenshot from his podcast, which shows a white powdery substance on his nose. The documents are application for a search warrant and a search warrant receipt and inventory return. Right? So here we go. Here's another account. Now, this account differs a little bit. So we're going to read through it because it differs a little bit from the... it differs a very little bit from what was
tastes really good, at least.
Report.
It's like Blue
in
Dream.
In terms of there being additional details. So pay attention here closely because the additional details matter. So I, Detective Pumplum, I actually like this guy's name a lot. It's a really cool name.
Hey, Jim, thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Sergeant Dave Nestor.
Oh my gosh, no shit. I think that when you started to do this, like, I sensed it, because I or maybe because I'm watching, so look, this is my view. So like I've got, so my phone is sitting right here, and so his chat, and then my chat. So like I was watching a super chat of his go up, and then for some reason my brain thought it was like going, you know, into my phone, and then boom, your super chat went into my phone. So it was just like, whoa, cool. Thank you so much. You're the best.
A report by a mandated reporter regarding Nicholas Robert Rada, date of birth.
I took a dab earlier, and you really like.
I reviewed Sergeant Nestor's initial report, and I was reviewing further information.
And ever since then, my sinuses have been
After reviewing that information, I applied for a search warrant for the residence, which, as well as for a search warrant of Nick Recaita. So once again, there was a warrant for the house and for Nick himself, because Nick himself, there was reasonable suspicion he had a little bit of the Colombian booger sugar on him. For further information in relation to the follow-up investigation, please refer to the search warrant, which we have already seen. It was arranged on 523 deputies who needed a predetermined location and eventually traveled to his house in Spicer to execute the search warrant. We traveled to the area, and while almost to the residence, we observed a black-colored Lincoln vehicle with Nick in the driver's seat traveling southbound as we were traveling northbound. Sergeant Nestor was advised to stop Nick and detain him as he was part of the search warrant and his person to be searched, which Sergeant Nestor did. The rest of the above-mentioned officers then continued traveling to the residence to execute the search warrant and arrived at approximately 9:13 in the morning. Chief Deputy Kent
so they arrested Nick.
Nestor. When we arrived,
And then they
on the
battered
scene, we
the door
started
down.
knocking on the door on the south side of the residence. We were able to gain a response from a young female juvenile from within the residence, who advised us that her dad advised her not to open the door for strangers. Well, I will say this. And this is in Nick's defense. Fair enough, right? Telling your kids not to open up for strangers, including even the cops, is fair enough. It's fair enough. Saying don't open up for strangers. So that part, I'll give that part's fine, right? I don't have a problem with that. That's fine, right? I get it. Now let's continue right from there. I want to be fair here, guys, because despite the fact, let me say this again. Despite the fact that the facts are turning against Nick, I am really trying my best to be objective and balanced about this. And if there's a factor that goes for Nick or something that is fair enough or needs to be mentioned or caveated, I'm going to say it. Yes, I'm going to make, I will make the statements that need to be said. I will say what needs to be said. But I'm trying to bring out the fair points when I can. Because I know a lot of people are really mad, especially the Nick followers, are really mad at me right now. They're extremely mad at me right now. Now, once again, if you're mad at me for telling facts, that's more of a problem of you than for me. But I'm trying to give you what I can when it's there. But objectively, there's not a lot of facts here that help the side of Nick. So we knocked for several moments, indicating we were law enforcement, and tried to speak with the juvenile to come open the door for us. We noted there was a keypad on the door and attempted to make radio contact with either Chief Deputy Bauman or Sergeant Nestor. When I overheard radio communication from Sergeant Nestor advised that Nicholas was not going to give us the door code to open the door. This was after several moments an appropriate time for an adult.
He didn't give him the door code, so he had to batter the door down and traumatize his children.
Opened the door, causing minimal damage to the door. While making entry into the residence, I observed as Sergeant Swanson was standing in the kitchen and was making commands for someone to walk towards him. I was holding on to the stairway to the
Kristen, you don't have to be in here. It's okay. I don't mind. I would rather you be doing stuff you need to if you need other people in here.
They were detained and brought outside.
I don't want you to stay in here and
there were two children located upstairs. We were
you know?
advised that there was one child downstairs by Kayla. So, when Kayla came out, she said, hey, there's a kid downstairs. The other female who was detained was April Diane Imholt. They were moved outside and eventually...
Bye, Jim. I hope you have a great day. I totally have to fill up my propane tanks,
I observed
too.
a juvenile male walk out. I advised him to walk up the stairs, which he complied, and went out and stood by with his mother. I continued searching the residence, and we located an additional adult juvenile female in the basement bedroom, who was apparently sleeping. I advised her to walk out with me to her mom, which she agreed to do. She held my hand while we walked outside. 4 children. This is very fucking sad. Guys, I read shit like that. I don't know if it's just me, but I know I'll make the random joke here and there.
Thank
but I
you.
read shit like that. The kid who had to be walked. That fucking, that fucking,
I'm definitely not Jewish.
Right now it kind of hurt. I got, I feel sad just talking about that. It's so fucking sad. It really is. It really is fucking sad. Because I can see it in my, make the random joke here and fucking sad. Guys, I went out and stood by with his mother. I could give loud commands into the basement from the top of the stairs. I observed a juvenile male walk out. I advised him to walk up the stairs, which he complied, and went out and stood by with his mother. I continued searching the residence, and we located an additional adult juvenile female in the basement bedroom, who was apparently sleeping. I advised her to walk out with me to her mom, which she agreed to do. She held my hand while we walked outside. 4 children. This is very fucking sad. Guys, I read shit like that. I don't know if it's just me, but I know I'll make the random joke here and there, but I read shit like that. The kid who had to be walked. That fucking, that fucking, I feel that. Right now it kind of hurt. I got, I feel sad just talking about that. It's so fucking sad. It really is. It really is fucking sad. Because I can see it in my mind's eye, right? Like a kid who's sleeping and has no idea, and just wakes up, and it's a fucking police officer who's there to search the house. It sucks. It's fucking sad. Yeah. 4 children were placed outside with their mother, Kayla, as well as April Imholt. The children who were located in the residence were on the enlisted children. I was advised by Sergeant Nestor and Chief Deputy Bauman that they were going to have Nick Recato travel back to the residence as we executed the search warrant. We continued clearing the residence and were able to have the residence secured. The residence was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. I overheard Nick Recato arguing with Chief Deputy Bauman in front of the house, demanding he receive a copy of the search warrant, which at that time I handed him a copy of. I saw him look at it and eventually throw it on the ground. The house was a very large house, almost 5,000 square feet. We started searching in the master bedroom, where almost immediately Detective Sergeant Brandis located a snort tube and a black vial on top of 2 credit cards. So it literally had April's credit cards and the cocaine. The items were listed above. They were positive for cocaine, the snort tube, and the black tube was positive for cocaine as well. At that time, I went and spoke with Nick Recato. I requested he speak with me. I advised him of his Miranda warning. He agreed to speak with me and waived his right to counsel. He explained to me that he may or may not answer certain questions. This conversation was recorded on my body camera. During the conversation with Nicholas, he advised he sleeps in the master bedroom with Kayla, and that April was just there visiting on this date. Well, hold on now. We now have contradicting facts. So we had another story that they are living together.
I fucking hate
At some
Israel,
point,
so
Aaron and April were living. But now they're saying that April was visiting today. So note this fact. This is going to come back. This is a very important fact because there's going to be some impeachability here on this fact within this document, right? So let's continue with this. At this time, it was determined that Nick Recato, Kayla Recato, and April Imholt would all be placed under arrest and transported to Candy
comments
County.
Are getting annoying.
And
put you in timeout so
by
you can't
deputies
bother
as well as
anybody.
State Trooper Josh Monson. While placing Nick in the State Trooper squad, I observed several injuries to his arm and photographed them. So that's once again the injuries, and we're going to have those photographs. So we're going to get the photos. So for all this, like, there's a lot of debate. There was a lot of debate right now. Even Nick himself was debating about quote unquote track marks and other stuff. We're going to get the photos. Eventually, those photos are going to come out. So we are going to see the photographic evidence and be able to say, okay, what are they just making this up? Is it a grand government conspiracy to get Nick Recato because he's doing such hard-hitting reporting that is devastating the state of Minnesota and Candiotty County and Spicer? Is it because he's such a vigorous defender of Minnesotans' rights that
That's like absolutely. It's funny that you say Boudica, because like that's one of my favorite books. Boudica, Dreaming the Spear, Dreaming the Eagle, Dreaming the Hound. There's like 4 of them. They're really good. It's mixes fact and fantasy. It's so good.
But he is out to get him, and including members of his congregation and teachers, and it's a very interesting theory. But yeah, we're gonna get to see all that play out. Very interesting. So yeah, we're gonna get those photos. They appeared to be sores common with controlled substance abusers. Elisha Sweet of the Family Services was contacted and eventually came to the scene to assist with placing the children with their grandparents. So there we have it. The kids are with the grandparents. They're probably just fine with the grandparents, right? So we know the kids are okay. Thank God. Thank God, right? Continuing, during this time, Detective Oakleaf advised me that she spoke with Kayla Recato regarding giving a statement, at which time Kayla advised that she wanted to have an attorney. Very smart. Very smart. Now, here's the question. Did she advise that she wanted an attorney? Here's my question. Did Kayla want an attorney other than Nick? Did Kayla actually want Nick as her attorney? Or was the first time that, because we saw the arraignment and we saw where Nick asserted that both of the others were his clients. Did they actually agree to be his clients, or did he just make that up? Because there's a good chance that, I'm not sure whether they actually like consented to it originally or whether he just asserted it. I don't know. So it's an interesting fact. Like, at what point did Nick become their lawyer for the purposes of the arraignment. That is, it's an interesting fact, semi-material, right? But I don't think, because I think if they said, "Oh, I want an attorney and I want it to be Nick,"
they're
they
good
would have
books.
said it
They're
then,
really
right?
good books. Like if you
They would've
wanna,
just said
if
it
you like,
immediately, and we're gonna get that. We'll have body cam footage. We'll see
like
it.
Game of
Because
Thrones,
if they asked
but
for Nick
you
to
want
be their
something that's
attorney, they would
more
ask right away.
reality,
If they don't, then clearly,
and that
perhaps
is like
they did not trust
like
Nick
more historically
to be
based and
their
doesn't
attorney.
have any like wild, outlandish,
Just
like
throwing that out there.
crazy fantasy
And
stuff.
this is at the
It's
point at which,
so
by the
good.
way,
Yeah, I
Nick,
call it
who
historical
had been
fantasy, I
representing,
guess. It's so good.
April, had missed one of her hearings. Right.
There's
So for
time.
her,
They all the
speeding ticket.
Lysini,
Right. So it's an interesting
the
point. I
Picts,
want to know more. I don't know
all
right
the
now,
old
it's
tribes
speculation,
make
but I wanna
an appearance in the book, and Rome.
So
is
Sergeant
coming.
Brandis attempted to take a statement from April, so she said she wanted an attorney. Deputies continued to search the residence, and the above-listed physical evidence was taken into custody of the Kaneohe County Sheriff's Office. Arrangements were made that the grandparents were going to secure the residence. We were able to close the door, and we documented the damage to the door. All officers left the scene at 11 a.m. I traveled back to Kaneohe County Law Enforcement Center, where the above evidence was processed and placed in the evidence system. I went to the jail and requested that Nick speak to me. He said he was willing to do so. So once again, Nick Rekieta, unable to keep it quiet. I brought him to the interview room with Kaneohe County Law Enforcement Center. I again read him as Miranda. He agreed to speak with us and waived his right to counsel. During our conversation, he refused to answer any questions regarding any cocaine use or any controlled substance use. He advised me that he resides within the residence and stays in the master bedroom with his wife Kayla when he sleeps. He indicated that April Imholt was just a friend and was visiting and does not live at the residence. So here we go. Hold on here. We're about to get a big contradiction. He explained that he is extremely stressed out in regards to his 5 kids and their extra activities. Please see the audio recording for details. Here we go. Here's the contradiction. I was advised after this interview that Alicia Sweep had contact with Kayla Rekieta, requesting if their live-in nanny, Cheney Bitson, would be able to assist with anything. Sweep was advised by Kayla that technically April Imholt, was their live-in nanny. Ladies and gentlemen, a direct conflict between Nick Rekieta and his wife. A direct conflict between Nick Rekieta and his wife, where he made 2 separate statements to police, which he did not have to make. Once again,
Well, it's just funny because, like, I mean, you're not far off base. Boudica is, like, probably pretty close to, like, not saying that I'm directly related to her by any means, but she's in my family lineage, like, it's right in the line. My family was definitely a part of that whole thing,
Is why even lawyers can fuck up. Sheer hubris is a bitch. And I know Nick.
My mom's side of the family is
very smart.
native.
I know many lawyers
Scott,
think they're very smart.
And
this is why
my
you
dad's
don't
side of the family is
They got him on that.
Norwegian.
They got him on that. Because somebody is lying here. Either April is not living and then Kayla lied, or she is living there and Nick lied. Because there's a contradiction. This is out there already. So is Nick lying to law enforcement? Did he lie to law enforcement there? Interesting fact. And somebody says, tiny lie, who cares? Prosecutors care. Prosecutors care, especially when they're looking at this case. And it's just one other thing they can put the screws in on. It's just one other thing they can impeach him at trial. It's just one other thing they can say, hey, Nick, we can settle this. We can settle this out. Or we can take this to trial. We're going to throw in a...
No, I haven't done a video on my tattoos because it's not, I don't, like,
right?
value
they can use it as a
in my tattoo. Like, I'm not,
this
like...
is why you shut up and get an attorney.
like, oh my God.
That's not yourself. Especially if you're arrested, even as an attorney. Don't represent yourself. It's a horrible idea. It's a terrible one. Right? Do not represent yourself. There's a little bit more of this, and the interesting part here is there's an account from Nick's side. So this is so this is David Nestor. Now David Nestor has squad car video and body cam video. So we're gonna need to get. This footage is the footage I really want to see. And you guys are going to see why. You guys are going to see why this footage is something I really want to see. Yes, I want to see in the house. I want to see them going through the house. I want to see if it's cluttered or not. I really, that's going to be really damning for Nick. I mean, if it's cluttered in the house, if it's a rat's warren in the house, we'll see about that, because Nick is asserting right now that everything is fine and the house was spick and spam and everything was great and there was no problems in there and it was totally great. So we're going to see on the video of the house, but here we're going to see some interesting details. Look at this. On 5/23, Sergeant Nestor of the Sheriff's Office assisted in a drug search warrant. While en route to the search warrant, I was advised by Detective Pomplum to stop a motor vehicle that a person of interest regarding the search was on, Nick Ricada. He was driving a black Lincoln bearing license plate, which is redacted. I stopped at County Road 10 and 51st Street at 9:14. The driver was identified as Nick Ricada. I was advised by Nick I advised Nick about the warrant.
I don't know. Hopefully soon, Brian.
At the time, Chief Deputy Bauman was with me, and Nick was advised the warrant was signed by the judge. His response was,
my favorite music genre is high vibrational.
Shit, and wanted the probable cause for the warrant. Guys, this is Nick thinking he is gonna outsmart him in the moment, right? The probable cause is the standard, right? But they don't have to prove it to Nick there, right? They don't have to go and give Nick every single piece of evidence. They've got the warrant. Probable cause was needed to get the warrant. The warrant was issued. At this point, they don't need to produce all evidence to Nick to make him get out of his car, right? They don't need to submit all exhibits to Nick. And Nick truly, I really think he believes this. I really think Nick genuinely believed this, that he was owed to get every single piece of proof. You've got the warrant. The warrant is the proof. If it is a warrant signed by a judge, it's a valid warrant. Nick had no ability to contest it there. No ability to contest it there. He can contest it later. He can charge later. But at that moment, he had no ability to challenge that. But he believed in his hubris that he had the point to do it. And we'll see that in the body cam. I want to see this. I want to see this interaction. His response was, that doesn't mean shit, and wanted a probable cause for the warrant. While conversing with the topic, Detective Pomplum was asking for a door code so they did not have to breach the door at the residence. Nick advised me that he was not giving me, quote unquote, shit, as he hadn't seen the warrant. Well, they literally showed it to you there, you know, the warrant, the signed warrant. But okay, fine, he didn't see it, okay? I advised Pomplum we did not get a door code. I checked Nick Ricada's person. He was wearing flip-flop shorts and a shirt. He had an ID, credit cards in his wallet. At the time, he went back into his vehicle, which also had his daughter in the passenger seat, so he was presumably taking her to school. We went back to the residence, and I was assisted at the scene by standing near Nick Ricada and Kayla and April and their 4 children. While assisting and keeping the 4 children occupied, when asked about getting clothes, wanted new clothes, as she made a reference to the fact she had been wearing those clothes more than a day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna have body cam footage. We will have body cam footage of one of Nick's children begging for clothing. So Nick has been denying this fact, has been denying this and saying the children were fine, there's no issue. If this is a lie, it's going to come out on the body cam. If it's true, it's going to come on the body cam. And Nick has already impeached himself, because Nick has run around the internet, run his mouth the last couple days. He has not shut up, and he has said, no, the kids were just fine. Everything was good with the kids. You're an asshole for saying elsewise when people would challenge you.
No.
Nick has come out here and run his mouth on the internet, on locals, on Twitter, and wherever else he's been running around. And from what I hear, he's going to do a stream in the next in the next week probably. He's going to do a stream very soon. He's running around, running his mouth, saying everything was just fine. When the info comes out, when this body cam comes out and it shows, when I'm looking here and looking at this evidence,
his birthday is on the 16th.
One of his little girls, right, begging, Please, officer, I need some clean clothes. I've been wearing these clothes more than a day. Please, can I have some clean clothes? That is going to break freaking hearts. And anybody who is still, if this comes out, if this fact comes out, anybody who is still defending Nick would need to take a very long look at themselves. And once again, okay, yes, this could be a grand government conspiracy. Maybe the government made all this shit up, right? Right, Robert Barnes? Right, Viva? Maybe the government's making this fact up. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see when this comes out. If this is completely made up, completely manufactured, we will find out. Move myself to the side here. Last one is here, which is, I was asked to transport Kayla Ricada to the jail. I advised her she had been placed under arrest. I placed restraints in front of her, checked for tightness, double locked, and adjusted. Okay, and that's the end of that part. Okay, so that was the supplementary report. So there are some damning facts in that. There are some very damning
They're
facts.
frozen.
So I'm shocked at this point.
You asked if Elliot had
Extremely
fun at the, oh,
because
yes.
there were fewer comments.
Yes, he
I'm
did
gonna
have
get
fun at that
Rumble
birthday party.
First. Yes, Rumble, I'm gonna get you first. And then we're gonna get super chats on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work
Yeah, he had fun.
all of the 10s and the 5s. And then we'll
It was like 4 or something hours long.
Get that at the end, and then we'll pick up with. We're going to continue with talking about Josh and Kiwi Farms, right? So we're going to talk about that right after. But let me get all
He's
these
staring
chats
at
so
me.
you
I
guys
have
know
to.
what I'm talking about. We can kind of get some of your thoughts on this subject, because this is indeed
You
a
can't just sit
very
and eat
fun
something in
episode.
front of him.
This is
You know,
extremely
that's
fun.
not nice.
So here we have
he can have some
Document,
pretzels.
who says there's a 12-year-old video, Don't Talk to the Police, by Regent University Law School as YouTube channel. I think it's a great resource for laymen to understand why you need to shut the fuck up. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. In the beginning of my channel, I was trying to be like a based legal eagle. I was trying to
I
be
forgot
like
that
a
Elliot
legal
went
eagle
to
that
that
wasn't
birthday
like
party.
a weird leftist, cuck.
It was Orly's
so I
birthday.
made a lot of videos that were like that. So I
On
actually have a
May
video, Don't
25th.
Talk to the Police. That's one of my initial videos. I also did it on TikTok that got the most views ever.
Too.
So yes, that's a very good one.
I was just telling
I was
people this
inspired by
morning
video from
that
Regent.
Elliot's
Very good
birthday
video.
is on the
I
16th,
would
so
recommend that for this one. So
That's
that
what
is
I thought you were talking
a
about.
very, very good one to look at. I would second that. Then I think there was one right above that in Rumble,
He wasn't
and that
letting
is
more.
right here from Pinochet's Helicopter Corps. Introduced to you from Nick, hypocrisy is just something I'll never forgive. My time
He's
is
done.
valuable, and I'll never give a second chance. No amount.
he's like,
possible
he's not going to
cost
give me
of
that yummy
violations
peanut smelling
will
stuff.
ever change that. A lot of people are feeling the same way. Like, hey, Nick, you know what? Your constitutional rights may be violated. You know, maybe you win on the Fourth Amendment. Maybe your 5% chance to win comes through, but I'm not supporting you after this. And that's your personal choice. Whatever your morality is on this,
I'll be right back.
it's
I'm
fine.
going to check
Nick
my phone.
is innocent until proven guilty
See if
of
the
the crimes.
Called and
But
somehow I
the
missed
thing
it or
is
something.
here, guys, moral decisions. The court of public opinion may objectively make up their mind on Nick when we see that body cam footage. And that's before there's ever a verdict. And that body cam footage is coming out. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about a lot of that today. The Big Red Snake, Aaron
It's not meant
and
to
Nick
be
were
exciting.
lovers. The spat hurt the LGBTQ agenda. Biden administration sent in those white guys who attacked Smollett. Nick's best hope now is sneaking in a boatload of prison in the attorney. Okay, yeah, that's it. You know what, Big Red Snake? That's it. That's the theory. That's what's going to beat him. That's include that in one in
Alright,
many
we're
of
done
my.
with the paperwork. Fucking wind is kicking up. Oh, I'm so close to getting my period, dude. Exactly. Being so, but like I don't find it to be boring. If you find it to be boring, then don't watch. But I mean, there are people who are gonna listen to whatever I'm listening to, and it's really for. Okay, what does it mean?
Hello everybody, news is breaking across the internet about P. Diddy and something about a grand jury indictment, something. I started reading this exclusive CNN article that they put out, and then I was like, you know what, let me just record it. So let me pull that up for y'all. So here is the article, again, another exclusive coming from CNN, and this story originally broke about, I think, an hour or two ago, but it was just updated about 25 minutes ago. So it says, exclusive, a federal grand jury may soon hear from Sean Diddy Combs' accusers, okay? Federal investigators are preparing to bring accusers of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs before a federal grand jury. And they are citing, quote, 2 sources familiar with the probe. Okay, so this raises the first question. What is a federal grand jury?
God,
and
Lord,
what
I
does
wanna
this
crack my neck
even
so bad.
actually mean? Okay, good question. This is the grand jury process is a procedural process that's supposed to protect due process or something. It doesn't exactly look like the juries that you usually juries like 6 to 12 people. And in a criminal case, the prosecutor would try the case before a judge. The jury would be sitting, and then of course there would be a defense attorney, things like that. Well, in a grand jury, which is what we're reading about right now, a grand jury has between like 16 and 62 people, and it kind of resembles a trial, but it is not a trial. A grand jury has a totally different standard of proof. It's not like, oh, beyond a reasonable doubt or anything like that. No, a grand jury process is supposed to tell you 2 things. Number 1, is there even enough evidence for the state or the government to charge this person with a crime? Just to charge them, right? Not to convict them. It's a fail-safe. It's supposed to do a lot of things. It's supposed to protect the innocent person. You know, if you just don't have, the government just has no evidence against you, it really shouldn't be able to accuse you of something so heinous, right? So the prosecutor, in this case, I'm assuming a lawyer from the Department of Justice or something, is going to be presenting to these 16 to 60 or some odd people what evidence that they've been able to collect so far. So is there any evidence at all? Is there enough to support a charge, not a conviction? And also the point of the grand jury process is to determine which charges specifically there is enough evidence to go forward on. So from before I ever heard about this grand jury thing in the Diddy case, I know that there was talks of a S for King charge, right? That was one of the things that was spoken about by the Department of Homeland Security and all of that. So in a grand jury, you would need to determine, is there any evidence at all? If yes, is there any evidence at all to support that specific charge? Well, apparently maybe they have increased these charges. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about a grand jury. There's of course a lot of criticisms about grand juries because they're very, very private. They're not open to the public. The reason for this is to protect people who are witnessing at the grand jury. Like, let's say there wasn't, in some cases, right, not P. Diddy, but let's just say in some case somewhere, there wasn't enough evidence to actually move forward with some charges. Well, if there's not even enough evidence to move forward with the charges, then it's not really fair to like besmirch and defame someone's reputation out there in the world. I'm generally obviously in support of transparency, but this is how the system currently is set up. This is how it works. So TLDR on the grand jury thing, the whole point of a grand jury, in particular in this case, would be to determine, number 1, is there enough evidence being presented by the prosecutors to support them continuing on McKee, whatever her name is. Sorry, I don't ever remember her last name. Grace from the yacht, Joy Nickerson Deal, the Jane Does, all that, right? All the different folks, the 2 new
No,
lawsuits.
I don't like
that came.
Taylor
That's
Swift.
the accusers, and perhaps there could be some, who knows how many, that we don't even know about from these public lawsuits. So the federal investigators are preparing to bring these accusers
by our
of Diddy,
government
so the Diddy accusers,
manipulate
before
our
a
youth.
federal grand jury. 2 sources familiar with the probe tell CNN. Who are the 2 sources? I don't know. And that's one of the things that I don't like about how they report on the news lately. But I guess if this is all they could get, I mean, CNN has shown that they at least did have some exclusive, that the U.S. Justice Department is moving toward potentially seeking an indictment of Diddy. It says possible witnesses have been notified by investigators that they could be brought in to testify in front of a federal grand jury in New York City, according to one source. Bringing individuals who have filed civil suits against Diddy before a grand jury would mark a significant escalation in the government's ongoing investigation involving Diddy. He's been named in 8 civil lawsuits
smells
since
like
November.
corn, graham
7
crackers or
directly
corn
accusing him of assault.
crackers.
One of the 8 lawsuits filed by former girlfriend Cassie Ventura has been settled. So one of them, which I think was the first one in this string, another lawsuit accused Diddy's son Christian Combs of assault, of which Diddy is accused of aiding and abetting. A spokesperson for the Homeland Security Investigators Agency declined to comment on the existence of a grand jury, but that Homeland Security Investigations spokesperson did say that the case does remain ongoing. These potential witnesses have not yet been prepped for testimony, cautioning that the HSI investigators are still in the process of gathering evidence and questioning potential sources of information in their federal probe into Combs. One source said investigators are being thorough and taking their time to make sure that an indictment, should there be one, would be bulletproof. The grand juries comprised of ordinary citizens are critical tools used by prosecutors, providing both an investigative function and a vote on whether to criminally charge the suspects, which this is just a reiteration of kind of what we said earlier. But here, the use of the grand jury signals that a particular case has moved beyond the preliminary stage, where investigators generally assess whether possible violations of the law are believed to have been committed. And then this section says feds have interviewed multiple Combs accusers. His homes in LA and Miami were searched back in March. At that time, he was the target of a federal investigation. It was reported. The investigation was by the Department of Homeland Security team that handles HT crimes, and the ongoing investigation included a focus on ST, according to law enforcement sources. And it says here, now, additional sources have told CNN that the majority of the plaintiffs who filed those civil suits against Diddy had been interviewed by federal investigators. Okay, so now the sources are saying that pretty much everybody that's filed lawsuits against Diddy, they've already been
You literally
interviewed
ate so
at
much
least
already.
by
How could
these
you have the
federal
munchies right now?
investigators. Then they remind us that Diddy said that these allegations were
guess it is
sickening and it was people looking for a quick payday. So it says CNN previously reported in March, per a law enforcement source, that the investigation stems from the many SA allegations put forth in the civil lawsuits. But then it says CNN has learned that the scope of the investigation is now much larger, focusing on ST, money laundering, Robin Greenhill, Lou Taylor, ding, 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 and illegal. So I hope that they are named. I hope that they are defendants in this too. Innocent until proven guilty, though. Also, in addition to now adding on and tacking on the HT charges, they're also investigating narcotic smuggling and other organized criminal activity. Quote, it is much bigger than just these lawsuits, one of the anonymous sources did say. Federal investigators are now digging deeper, and some of the accusers have been questioned numerous times. A second source corroborates this current state of the investigation. Accusers who have spoken to federal agents during the investigation have been actively cooperating. Okay, so the accusers are actively cooperating, with some handing over evidence they believe may be helpful to the probe, and they're also bringing in new individuals for questioning, including corroborating witnesses of accusers. The evidence includes video that was from Diddy's residences. They're in possession of a video taken inside of Diddy's recently searched home. It's unclear whether the video was seized during the raids or whether the investigators obtained the video from somebody they might have been questioning. So it's not being reported clearly where this video came from. But it says they're contacting people that they found on the tapes. At least one male worker who claims he was victimized by Diddy has been questioned during the investigation. And that was coming from one of these anonymous sources. This individual was seen in footage that is in possession of the investigators. In some of the lawsuits against Diddy,
going through the
accusers have
footage
alleged they
and
were informed
contacting
after
all
the
of the
fact
sex
that they were
workers.
recorded during having relations, and they did not give their consent to be filmed. Diddy has not responded to that specific accusation, but he dismissed all alleged wrongdoing in a blanket denial that he
Get out of
posted
the trash.
December 2023. But we know that this blanket denial at least is partially already false,
Get out of
because
there.
we already saw the tapes from CNN
You got a
that
treat.
they
Go lay down.
released from the elevators. So what else is false? You know, what else
Being a
is he
good boy.
accused of that he did actually
good
do?
boy.
In some of the civil suits, Diddy is alleged of
My chunky doggy.
giving the substances multiple accusers. In the two most recent lawsuits
I have
filed
nothing.
against Diddy within the past week, so I haven't read these two. I haven't read these two on this channel. If you want
Yeah,
me to
it's
read
all
them,
gone.
comment below. I will read them. I just kind of felt like people done read the lawsuits. Y'all could go watch some videos. But if you really are dying for me to do it, I will do it. Anyway, so it says in those two most recent lawsuits filed against Diddy within the past week, former fashion student April Lampros and former model Crystal McKinney both accused Diddy of giving him the substances. In the Lampros suit, she claims that Diddy forced her to take a certain substance and then demanded that she have relations with Kim Porter before
He's like, oh, you don't have anything? Okay,
assault. Diddy has not responded to CNN's request for comment
He just went and
since
laid down.
the last two lawsuits were filed, this Lampros and McKinney one. Diddy was also accused in a civil suit filed last November of intentionally giving the substances and SA against Joy Dickerson Neal back in 1991 when she was a college student. We did read that one on this channel. Though his legal team has filed a motion to dismiss portions of the suit, Dickerson Neal also accused Combs of revenge porn, claiming that Diddy recorded her SA. Days later, a male friend revealed to Dickerson Neal that he had seen it, according to her claim. Diddy's team did not respond to specific allegations of these substances or the secret recordings. But a spokesperson at the time did say that that complaint was made up and not credible. So a spokesperson at the time, back in November, months and months, 7 lawsuits ago or whatever, a spokesperson for Diddy did come out and say that Joy Dickerson Neal lawsuit is made up and it's not credible. So that was the last they spoke on that lawsuit publicly. Diddy's team discredited the accusations and called them, quote, purely a money grab. In their motion to dismiss, which is still pending, Diddy's attorneys called Dickerson Neal's allegations false,
Lord,
offensive, and salacious. Let me see
Probably
what
just gonna
else
wait
the news is
tomorrow.
saying about the indictment. That was the exclusive, but I don't know,
I
maybe
hear some of
somebody
that.
else heard something else. Okay, so the lady who wrote the article, Elizabeth
But it's getting to be
Wagmeister,
like
she covered the Britney case, the Free Britney movement.
Closing time.
And she was there when nobody else was there. I'm gonna say that. She was up there at that courthouse with her notebook. Okay, let me see. She has posted actually a video earlier this morning, just a few hours ago. This is her Twitter. She posted this. It says, federal investigators are preparing to bring accusers of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs before a federal grand jury. Our exclusive reporting. Okay, let's see.
Since November, you'll probably remember that Combs has been named in 8 civil lawsuits, 7 directly accusing him of sexual assault. CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister has all of this new reporting for Elizabeth. What more are you learning?
Good morning, Kate. So this is obviously the biggest escalation since those March raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. We are now hearing that federal investigators are preparing to possibly bring witnesses in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. What we have heard is that possible witnesses have been notified that they could be called to
I don't know
testify.
what's for dinner.
Now, sources do
Probably
caution
white
that
rice. I made white
investigators
rice
are
for
still
dinner
in
last
the
night. It was
process
so good.
of gathering information. In fact, they are still calling in new witnesses, and they have called in some witnesses.
It seems like that what she just said was basically just
I guess I should
a
just do that.
regurgitation of the
Right,
article. I may even cut some of that out. Let me see let's go on and see what the co-host is gonna ask.
About the evidence that investigators could be reviewing here.
So, as I mentioned, those federal raids that were conducted on his homes back in March, obviously a lot of people wondering what was seized. Well, we are learning now
Go
that
make rice.
federal investigators are in
Go into the
possession of
kitchen.
video footage that was taken inside.
I'm kind of like,
homes.
like in an emotional place. I'm kind of upset about my cat, and so I'm just not really. I really haven't been in a talkative mood, but because I am on a personal journey of transparency and vulnerability or whatever, so I kind of have to live stream through it. So you guys get to watch me be very quiet today. On other days you can watch me, if you want to watch me be not quiet, there's months of live streams for you to go and watch here on YouTube.
Residents. We hear that these investigators have been contacting individuals that they have seen on
don't
this
want to
footage.
fucking deal with this
One
dab
person,
shit
in
anymore. I'm so
addition
over
to
it
the
already.
accusers who have filed these civil
I just want
suits,
to like hit my
is a
vape
male
and go in the kitchen.
that is what a
This
source.
is too much.
Okay, so it does seem that this is a little bit of a regurgitation of the article we already read, so I'm not going to watch the rest of the video. I did just want to come on here, explain what a grand jury is, and explain kind of how it works. So TLDR, in conclusion, we're hearing for the first time from a pretty credible source, CNN, who already has shown some credibility in this particular story, having the exclusive, right, with that tape. We're hearing from them that there are more charges than just SA and HT. We're talking smuggling, we're talking money laundering, and then they just kind of threw this catch-all of like other organized crime. So what this grand jury thing is gonna have to show, it's gonna have to show this group of regular citizens that there is enough evidence to bring forward a charge against Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs of ST, HT, money laundering, whatever the case may be. It's possible a grand jury only finds enough evidence that's going to allow them to move forward on one charge, two charges, but maybe they find enough evidence to move forward on all of these charges. Maybe more evidence comes out in the grand jury investigation that causes the feds to charge with even more things or even more people, like, for example, a RICO charge, like the organized crime statute. So y'all just buckle up, because I have a feeling that this ride is going to get a lot wilder. That's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and neither is reading a CNN article, girl. Love you, minute. Okay, bye. Welcome into my world. You're playing my game. But you can come up in the setting off of my name. Talking out the side.
If I ever make a YouTube, if I ever make a song, please stop me. Please stop me. Don't let me record a song, please. Just let me sing along to my songs on the radio. Please don't anyone ever blow smoke up my ass and try to convince me to become a singer. Don't do that to me. I'm not saying that anyone has a bad voice or anything like that, but just don't do it. I don't want to do the Paris Hilton. I'll pass. Oh my god, perfect timing. My generator just did the vroom vroom. It's time to turn me off. Ooh, something sounded clanky in there. Doesn't sound good. Oh, it's so quiet in here all of a sudden. Come on. Don't even start. I'll let you outside in just a minute. Is it a pagan high holiday? That I'm like don't know of or something? Like am I not, is it some kind of seasonal change or something? Is it officially summer or I don't know what? Like is there some kind of, because next door is like a pagan commune and it sounds like they're having some type of festivities. I usually only do that high holidays. Lick the edge of the pan. Yep, definitely good. Wait to salt you till at the end. Butter.
So it's been a week since the city man came by and gave us our beautiful poster. I've come every single day to polish it. Oh, there's her. So this past week we did apply for emergency permit, which will allow us to take the roof off because remember it's like this. Remember? So the city told us that we have to submit a new permit because they can't accept our old permits. So we submitted a new emergency permit last week. Now it's this week.
And I think 6 revisions later with the engineer.
Yep. And the city man is supposed to come by today and give us a partial permit. If you've never heard of a partial permit, news to me too. I didn't know that you could let someone take off half the roof.
But that's exactly what we're doing. We're
Yeah. Yeah. This thing says I'm allowed to take off this part of the roof. But if I want to touch this part of roof, That's a separate permit.
You're gonna go to jail.
Go jail. The last week the city man came around 3 o'clock?
3:30.
Yeah, it's 2:37, so he should be here any minute. Not him.
No. He's here. Okay. Yeah.
Why did he make these Oh, this is a little sexy. Hi. Good job. But now let's just hope the fence doesn't fall down. Question. How do you take off a roof?
I don't know.
Oh, there's a hole in the roof. Oh, wow. Nice. Look at all the poop on it.
The birds were sitting there and pooping there.
Yeah, there's no roof above this.
You guys want your fun fact?
Yeah.
Remember how before I was talking about there being regulations on nails that you can use?
Yep.
Nail sizes?
Yep.
So back in the day, they didn't have regulations. These are the little nails, little baby nails that they used to use back in the day to hold the plywood up.
That looks like it's supposed to hold like a picture frame.
And they use these very sparingly. It seems like maybe once every 12 inches to hold up this massive sheet of plywood.
It's heavy too.
Oh yeah. The nails are good.
How did this not fall down already?
Well, one of them did fall down.
Okay.
This one, pretty good.
If you guys are like me, you probably have 50,000 hobbies and you're thinking about taking up a new one. Yeah. If so, I think you guys will love today's sponsor, which is Crochet. If you got socks, so I actually been using the crochet socks. Class is called Top Down Crochet Socks by Rada. I have never crocheted socks before. I have never knitted socks, but I've always wanted to do that. So I thought, hey, let's try crochet socks first. And I think the next one I'll do is the knitting socks, because that one seems a little bit more complicated. But if you guys want to try out Craftsy, be sure to use my link down below in the description, and the first 1,000 people to use that link will actually get 3 months of premium membership for only $1.49.
I have a feeling that this one might not come off as easy.
I freaking get my own hammer. It's pink, and I don't have it today to put in my hammer hole. Go, Nikki. Go, Nikki. All right.
You showing the sky hole yet? We got a skylight.
Skylight. You want to see my skylight? Come watch the northern lights from here.
Cool. So in most homes back in the day, the ceiling height was 8 feet, just like in this home. Notice how the plywood, you can kind of put like this. The plywood's 8 feet.
Yeah.
It fits here, and it doesn't fit over there. Which means that over time, over there, maybe like 7.5 feet, 7 feet.
So this was 8 feet, but now it's not 8 feet?
Not anymore.
This is actually going pretty fast.
Yeah, but this is easy work, and they're like big sheets of plywood. So the hard stuff is when we get up top and we have to start using the shovel. That'll be not so fun.
So we're gonna take off the roof with this?
No, we're going gardening.
I understand why you need shovels now. It's a garden up here.
I don't know like what to do with moss there.
There's rocks up here.
Yeah, I guess this is what an old-fashioned roof was like.
I should start selling all these succulents. Maybe make some money to pay for the house.
They're really nice succulents, I must say.
Yeah. My camera's gonna die, so I'll be back. I am shocked that this has been the easiest thing to take part so far.
Easier than the drywall.
I'm shocked. Look how much we did.
Wow.
Half hour, 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think the hardest part is like taking it from here to the bin.
Yeah, but it peels like butter, this roof.
And some parts were actually kind of dry, which is so surprising.
I know, like there. Look at this. Brand new.
Wow.
Never used. Saw
They
on
need to replace
Craigslist.
it.
Yeah, like new. You want to see my hole?
Oh gosh, don't go too close. Crazy.
Yep.
Step on that edge.
Yep.
And then when I get over there, just come here and step on this edge.
Okay.
Cool.
You got a fun fact for us?
Honestly, this is probably my favorite fun fact. This is the reason I love our house so much.
Oh, my cat is in her kennel right here because she was attacked by an owl today. An owl tried to
Can you guys spot the difference between
snatch
the
her, but apparently she was too heavy for it, and it dropped her. Because, like, when I looked out the window, she was, like, in the air, and then when I came, the dog was barking up at the air. And then I went out, and by the time I made it out there, she was on the ground, and I was, like, kind of confused. I wasn't sure if I saw what I thought I saw. Maybe I thought I just saw a bird. And then, so I found her, I went over the fence, I corralled her back home, and then I saw she had a puncture wound on her back of her knee, and her leg is kind of like, it looks kind of fucked up. Looks like maybe broken. So she's just like sequestered from everybody. She's in her own little den. I gave her like shielding from the sun, but it's like all of my neck thingies. What are they called? Scarves. So they're like thin, and some of them are see-through, so the air will go through it. She can see through it, but no one can really see in. She feels safe.
I like how every single screw is a different length. I think they went to the store, bought like 4 screws, and they came back. Said we needed 4 screws. We have 4 really nice screws. Let's go.
It's heavy. I think this will work.
Don't laugh at me. Is it gonna work? Yes or no?
Whoa, she's laughing and people are laughing over there right now. It's crazy.
Jenna's dreams, and she's making fun of me.
I was laughing so hard I farted. You're gonna come here and look at it. Come on, it's pretty funny.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't look the greatest.
I just know everyone that drives fast are gonna be very concerned about how we're gonna fix our house if this is what we're making.
We have like logs on our roof. I don't know if that's a good impression to begin with. Nope.
Don't start. It's not ready yet. It's still cooking. Right here, see? Cooking. I know you want to go outside. You just have to wait a few minutes. I mean, I guess you could go outside right now. You want to go outside right now?
Pretty good.
That cost $130. So total we spent $200 on screws and a shovel today.
Wow, I can see.
This push pin? You want me to show you something revolutionary?
Yeah.
good.
Love getting tools. I'm a tool addict now. I got myself my very first hammer, got my very first shovel.
Have you showed them your hammer yet?
No, they haven't seen my hammer.
You gotta keep them waiting. It's pretty cool.
Gotta keep the suspense going. I don't think they're prepared for my hammer yet. It's pink.
You thought that like rocks on your roof is a good idea. I'd like to have a word with them. Literally made a garden.
There's Zen garden up here.
Yeah,
This is not so bad.
I agree. The wood's actually in okay shape.
It is. I wasn't here when you put up this tarp. Is there any fall through points?
I don't remember. It was a while ago. Oh yeah, this is gonna be harder. Oh my god.
You guys need to see this.
Chicken, get out! Get out! Get out, chicken! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Up here. This is why the house is leaking so much.
So I have an
Ripping
idea.
up my carpet.
We'll just blindly start taking this all up because it's gonna rain like crazy down below. Okay. Well, the only thing we can do now is just go like this, and that just turns off all our power. I think we'll be good for now. I'll just build like a little roof for this afterwards. That's it.
It's a nice shoot.
It's an easy
I really do like it. You did a great job.
Thanks, love. I think I did a all right job.
I don't get it. Oh!
Am I getting old? I think so.
You know what the shoot ladder reminds me of?
Hmm.
In Step Brothers, when they tried to build the bunk beds,
Oh,
I think it looks like they're bunk beds. Hopefully it doesn't break like the bunk beds.
so I think while I'm taking off the tarp, you can start like right here, which I think is the lowest point.
Yeah.
And
There, you did this wrong.
And then go downstairs.
We have a waterfall in our house?
Waterfall. That does not look great. Kind of crazy, huh?
I've never heard someone play bagpipes in the neighborhood before.
That's pretty funny.
Brand spanking new.
I don't know what it is with this house. Some parts look like they're just about to collapse, like the coast over there.
That goes so well.
It's. And then other parts are like, wow. We also have ants again. I've disturbed them again. The good news is, yeah, I mean, somehow this is in really good shape. Somehow.
This is my favorite part so far.
This one here?
Yeah, ripping it off.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this.
I mean, I am gonna say the moss and stuff, very heavy, not fun, but this part, it's really rewarding.
Oh no! You guys need to see downstairs. Oh it's official. This house is gonna be wet in a couple days. Did you get that reference?
No. Sorry, love.
Back at it with the white vans?
Sorry, love. If you give me an engineering joke, I'll laugh.
I know. I just love throwing things out. It's so fun. I love it. Having the time of my life.
Tell him.
Even though I'm wet, I have tar all over me. My hands are soaked. If only I had my hammer out. Hallelujah.
These staples, honestly,
Good job, Nikki.
deadly force.
Honestly.
I got a fight.
Oh shit, I forgot my dog was out there. Be right back. He smells the food being done. That little shit. Are you ready?
But see from over there, all the way to over here, especially at the very end over there, that, yeah, the home base. The home base over here.
Good job.
It's very stinky.
I would move the camera and give you guys more angles, but
Wait. Good job.
There's the camera.
Go on, get out of the kitchen. Thank you. Where's your bowl? Bring me your bowl. Get your bowl. Get it. Let me see it. Let me see your bowl. Get your bowl. Right here.
Wow.
Right here. Back up.
Then there's more holes.
Pick it up.
Two down
Get your
there.
bowl. Bring it here.
But this wood
Give it to Mama.
is phenomenal. Looks
Give it to me.
exactly like the other side.
I can't reach it. Orly, give me the bowl. Give me the bowl.
Oh, no, that actually goes into the
Give me the bowl.
room, right?
Yeah, I think you can
I can't get it. I can't.
This one.
Give me the bowl.
Nice 200-foot drop.
Give me the bowl.
Yeah, don't go near that
Get
one.
it.
Let me give you a tour. So this is
Oh, you're so close.
go to the next
I'm gonna have him get me his bowl one of these days. You watch.
I'm pretty impressed with both of those in a day and a half, though.
Yeah, I don't know how many square feet this is. Like, this one alone is probably like 400 square feet.
Yeah, not bad.
And then the other one's probably like 100 square feet. So 500 square feet we did today.
That's bad. Well, I'm trying to get to 1 million followers.
Hold on, baby.
Subscribers. I think that's what they're called. I'm also trying to make a deal with the city that if I get 1 million subscribers, they'll give me the rest of my permit. So I think I'll email them that Monday morning.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So subscribe.
Hey Soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at how your life is going to be like 1 year from now, 1 year from today. And to do this reading, you will be picking 3 cards from this deck. Of course, if you prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, you will find a timestamp to that down in the description box. Alright, so let's see what your life is going to be.
Get out of the kitchen.
1 year
Go
from
out of the kitchen. Go.
So, the cards for today's reading are, for pile number 1, we have Jungle Velvet. For pile number 2, you have Birds of Paradise. if you prefer to pick your piles using your crystals. Then let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you have the green packet. For pile number 2, you have the cherry quartz. And for pile number 3, you have the blue highlight. So take a look at which one of these 3 cards or 3 crystals you're the most drawn to. And this will be the pile for you here today. In case
Go.
you feel drawn
Out.
to more than one pile, maybe you're even drawn to 30 piles, I would highly recommend you check them out. You are drawn to them for a reason. Trust your intuition. It always guides you and leads you to the right readings. And once you're ready, you will find the timestamps in the description box. Check on your files and I will see you in your readings. In a moment, I am about to assign different zodiac signs. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to our reading. Today we're taking a look at how your life is going to look like 1 year from now. I think you got 2 points here. Let me quickly introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful blue howlite, and your card is the wax flower. We'll be reading in a moment. But if you picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Scorpio, Gemini, and Taurus. Welcome to our reading. And just a quick disclaimer, if these are not your zodiac signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. Alright, so let's see what to expect, what's going to happen in your life 1 year from now. Right, so you have, whoa,
I just want to listen to something like about a movie.
Casey Clark.
I don't feel like listening to a reading right now.
You have inspiration and courage. Now that's strong for sure. That's the
Uh-oh. Diddy involved in Biggie's murder. Now being implicated officially. Oh, shit. It's rice. It's white rice. With some gray Celtic salt and butter. And that's it. A lot of butter. Stop licking your mouth. This is mine. It's mine. You ate her.
Well, they do say hindsight is 20/20, and in this case, that's true. I did go back into the public record and look into what was going on between Cassie, Diddy, what pictures, what paparazzi, and all of that was going on at the time.
You got it! Good boy! Good boy!
All there. They really were. Let me show you what I mean. So, the first
Do it
thing
again.
I
Ready?
want to remind y'all what
Yes!
Cassie said
Good job!
about settled lawsuit filing.
Check this out.
Where she does describe that.
So this is rice.
situation.
theoretically a
The
disaster.
infamous footage that we've now seen. Paragraph
Oh,
1
you
and
literally just let it hit you in the face that time. Damn it.
during an FO.
Well, so much for that.
Continental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles. Diddy became
Your
extremely
butthole.
agitated and punched Cassie in the face, giving her a black eye. After Diddy fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the hotel room, but as she
Oh my
left
God.
out, he woke up and screamed at her. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed her and then took
Well,
various
you
steps down the
tried.
hallway, threw them at her, causing
At least
glass
you
to
picked up all the
crash
pieces.
around
Good
her
job.
as she ran to the elevator to
I'm not
escape.
making that
She
mistake again.
managed to get into the elevator and
It's
when
so
she got to the
salty.
lobby,
It's so
she
good.
took a cab to her apartment.
So
Upon
good.
realizing
He did
that
it perfect the 2 times.
could cause Diddy
It was on the
to
3rd time.
interfere with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Cassie returned to the hotel.
It's
with
so
the
salty and so good. The this in like these flakes.
When she returned, hotel
So good.
security staff urged her to get
This is good. I like eating it just by the.
So she goes back to the hotel and the staff and the security
So good. Light gray.
"No, girl, you gotta go. We saw what was on those tapes and you can come back in here or whatever." And then this is where Cassie
So good.
gets
So
in
good.
a
So good.
lawsuit upon information and belief that Diddy did pay the hotel $50,000 for this
100% raw, and it's like moist. The salt has like a liquid brine in it.
She escaped to Florida. After this, she left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. And then that's whenever the home stalking began, according to Cassie. She said that all kinds of people started to hit her up, basically saying, if you don't answer Diddy's
Dog hair.
phone calls, your record deal isn't going to happen. If you don't answer his phone calls, we're not going to be able to release your single. Lawyers were calling her. People from Sony were calling her. All kinds of people were calling her. The president.
Butter and rice is so good together.
Right, a woman who worked at Sony. Diddy convinced one of his attorneys to call.
So good.
Each time she tried to run away, Diddy
Like
was
real
out
butter
of
though,
work,
not like
work,
margarine.
forced Cassie back to Diddy. So we've been told this stuff. This isn't new information. Just reiterating, just reminding y'all, because a lot of stuff goes
Hold on,
on.
I'm getting full.
And
You can
there
have
were a
some.
couple of news
I'll give you the plate.
articles and social media posts circulating around.
You like
different
didn't even wait.
pictures
Watch out.
here and
Oop, there you go.
around that time where people are kind of
Right there.
zooming in on a bruise, or they're zooming
Right
in on
there.
a red carpet where it's like, oh, Cassie had a bruise on her knee or something like that. And that led me to start to look at
Yeah, you
those
got it. Good
pictures
job.
on my own. And there were a few things that I didn't
All right,
see
come on.
other people point out. I want to do that here today because this is some evidence that
I
I wanted to
know.
make sure is preserved in the public record. All right. So what I've done is I've gone to
Watch out.
Getty Images and I
Orly, wait.
typed in Cassie Ventura and I just set the parameters for the year 2016. As we saw in the lawsuit, this incident occurred sometime around March 2016. So I really want to zoom in and crop in on the March 2016 timeline. So let's just go to Getty Images. Okay, so as you can see, I typed in Cassie Ventura up here at the top, and I sorted it by oldest. So the oldest ones should come up first, and then we'll get to the newer ones as we go down. Okay, so the first picture we see is this one here, and when you click it open, this is what you get, and it does appear to be Cassie getting in a car. Now, this says celebrity sightings in Los Angeles, January 14, 2016. Cassie Ventura is seen on January 14th in LA, photo by us. So that's the first picture that we have. The oldest picture is January 2016. It would be about 2 months later that Diddy was running down the hall like a puma, like a predator puma, trying to chase down Cassie, snatch her up by the ponytail, kick her in the spleen, and everything else, okay? So this is 2 months before that incident. So then we get this next set of pictures of Cassie in this tan dress. And these are from February 24, 2016. This one is at the All Deaf Movie Awards red carpet. And again, as you can see, February 24. So this is just merely weeks before that infamous hotel incident. So all these are from that deaf recording, whatever that thing is. She's up on stage. And I just want to start paying attention a little bit to the mannerisms that Cassie does make. Of course, you can't tell a lot from just one picture, but we can start to get a sense of Cassie's demeanor.
Excuse me, sir. Can I help you? Back out.
Get out of my kitchen.
Out. Get out of the kitchen. Out. Go.
Child. So this
Or
is from the very next day
leave.
after this set of pictures. And then
Out.
this is really why I wanted to make this
Thank
video
you.
today. It has to do with the next set of red carpet photographs. And I'm not just talking about a little bruise. No, no, no. Let's look at actually some body language here. And I'm not a body language
Get out of my kitchen.
expert. I do play one on YouTube from time to time, but you know, more I'm just getting psychovisions, okay? But look at this set of photographs. As you can see here, Diddy and Cassie are together on the red carpet. And as you can see on the back of the red carpet, the backdrop, they are at a movie premiere or a movie release date. And it's a movie called The Perfect Match. And this is where I think stuff really started to hit the fan for Diddy and Cassie. Now, that doesn't mean that this was the first time it started hitting the fan. I actually highly doubt it was. I think that the stuff had hit the fan many times before this. But I am starting to develop a theory. And again, I haven't heard many people talking about this. Actually, I've heard zero people talking about it. I'm just leaving open the possibility that somebody else did maybe say something about it somewhere on the internet and I didn't see it. But my theory that I'm starting to develop, and I will use these photographs and a couple of interviews as evidence, my theory I'm starting to develop is Diddy was seething. He was pissed, infuriated. Because guess what this Perfect Match movie really was? It was a romantic comedy starring Cassie as the female lead with another man.
You guys know how I am with women. As soon as I have them, it's like all of my interests magically disappear. I'm an agent. I get a piece of all the action.
My advisor says that I can't engage in any negative facial expressions.
Fresh Montana.
Please sign me up, though. I make sure your swag is right.
You ain't gotta worry about nothing. Take us on the back. You date a woman.
Excuse you. Wait, get out of my kitchen. Get out. Out.
I've never been in a short relationship. I want to try something new.
Stop trying. Here. Here. Take it. That's what you wanted, right? Is this piece of cat food right there? Get out of my kitchen.
Strings, that's what we said. Men can bounce around from woman to woman, but if I do it, I'm a bad person. That's not fair.
For the first time, I actually allowed myself to feel something. There's nothing more important in life than going after what you love.
And y'all know Diddy can't act. I mean, we all saw his apology video, for the love of God. The man can't act. So it ain't like he's about to be the lead in a romantic comedy. Please. So what is this movie, The Perfect Match? I'm just going to read this very quick summary here, couple sentences. The summary says it's a 2016 movie. A playboy named Charlie, convinced that all his relationships are dead, meets the beautiful and mysterious Eva. And who's Eva? That's Cassie. Cassie plays this character. Agreeing to a casual affair, Charlie then wants a bit more from their relationship. Okay, so the movie is about a playboy and he kind of, is a heartbreaker or whatever, but he meets this girl, Eva, played by Cassie, and he wants more for the first time out of the relationship than just a casual friends with benefits. Terrence J stars as Charlie. So then I want to pull up a couple of video interviews from that red carpet, and then I want to show y'all Diddy's stank face on this red carpet, because I'm going to tell you one thing, the man is pissed. Now, this video right here is simply just a little video of Cassie getting her picture taken on the red carpet. And as you will notice, because she is the star of this film, she is out here alone. You're going to see Diddy off in the back corner sulking. And I believe that he is pissed off for two reasons. Number one, he's a narcissist. And so he cannot have the person who he is getting his narcissistic energy supply from getting energy from other people and developing some type of a sense of self-worth. Why? You already know why. You cannot start liking yourself too much, because that would not work for the narcissist. This is my opinion. The number two reason why he's pissed is because he's legitimately and sincerely, in my opinion, jealous. He's not used to Cassie being the star of anything. He is used to Cassie, at this point, playing his second fiddle. And I think Diddy started to develop this idea around this time that Cassie might have been getting a little bit too big for her britches. And he, in my opinion, felt like he needed to knock her down a couple notches or pegs or whatever you want to call it. Now, of note, this premiere was on March 7th, 2016. Again, March 7th, 2016. March 7th was the same month, merely just days, probably about a week before the hotel incident. So it was all kind of brewing. It was all kind of stirring up. And I think that hotel incident wasn't the first and wasn't the last time he laid hands on her. I don't believe it was the first or last time he laid hands on other people. I think he did this a lot. but I think stuff would trigger him. And in my opinion, he was triggered, not only because Cassie was getting a little too big for her britches, but also because she was stealing the spotlight. Look what I mean.
I'm gonna go. I'm getting like a really bad stomach ache all of a sudden, so I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna throw up, so I don't feel like being on the live for that. So yeah, I'll be back later when I'm not sick to my stomach. Maybe, probably tomorrow. I'll probably just be here tomorrow in the morning. So, oh shit. The bus does run, and I do not travel in the country, around the country right now, but I will be in an RV very shortly. So. All right, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Lord have mercy. I'll be in the Discord later.